Chiefs were on fire on the field, got the job done. They're also on fire afterwards because there's some words, and they're going to make sure that they get it done again. The Chiefs are going back to that AFC Championship game against the Ravens. The Bills are not all the way out of the picture because there are some free agents, there are some things, and there's a lot of animosity left. Andy Reid talked about some of it today, some of the mistakes, and where we're going from here. But before we jump into your show, make sure you like, sub, and hit the bell here on RGR Football. He's Dan Harms. I'm Ryan Tracy. This is what we do. We cover your Chiefs in the NFL around the clock for you because there's a lot going on. And before we get into the questions, if you guys would do all that, if you want the gear, jump in the store. If you want on the Discord, jump in the memberships. The members get all the deals. Get to the rookie level if you want to get all the extras. But big news this afternoon, Joe Toney is not a tear. It is a strain. A misnomer because a strain could be anything from a muscle pull to a partial tear. They are graded on purpose. It's still a pretty good scenario in that a lot of guys can play with a pec strain the next week. We will see. It could be towards the worst side. We won't know till later. Andy didn't give us an official update. This came from a different spot, another source, quote unquote. So we'll have more for you later in the week. But that's a relief to me, Dan. Having Joe Toney having to be on the sidelines was going to be an issue.
Yeah, you don't want to, as much as Nick Allegretti stepped in and played well for him, you don't want him going up against Justin Madubuike. I'll be very honest with you. You don't want that. And if you can get Joe Toney out there, even a 85% Joe Toney, you're getting an all-pro guard. You're still getting an all-pro guard. So that's the ideal situation you want to be in. You want to be as healthy as possible. And the fact that he, again, it was not even announced. So maybe the Chiefs just took him out for precautionary measure. They were up in that football game, and they decided, Joe, you're feeling a little tight. We'll just take you out. No harm done. We'll just slide Nick in. That's very well what could have possibly happened. So I'm feeling pretty good about his availability on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm crossing my fingers. Hello, Mr. Mead. Nice to see you, and hello, RGR family. I want to get this very straight. It's not luck that they beat these Bills. It is a little bit subterfuge. All this crap that we've been talking all season long, all the frustration, remind me, Dan, and I asked Chris to do this on Locked On Chiefs today too. Next time I start complaining about how they're not doing anything, they're too vanilla, la, 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 just remember, and Andy will remind us again next year, we're not going to pull out the good stuff till the playoffs. We're just getting by on talent. We're going to win games best we can. That's
exactly what it is. Like I go back to what Mitchell Schwartz tweeted yesterday. There's zero room to complain anymore. And sometimes we have to do that just to give some filler and some content, and I'm going to still do it. But realistically, from a fan perspective, from giving you guys the real information, we're not going to have a ton of real information on this team until the postseason. So whether it's the 1 seed, the 2 seed, the 3 seed, the 4 seed wildcard team, we're not going to know what this team actually is capable of until the postseason rolls around. So, congratulations, Chiefs. You pulled a fast one on everybody in Chiefs Kingdom this year.
It's wolves in sheep's clothing, man, over and over and over. Oh, tonight is the Q&A. Now that we've gotten the big injury news out of the way, I'm sure there'll be questions about some of the other ones. We'll get to all of those. You guys are running this show. Hit them up. Hit me with some question marks in the chat. We'll try to get all those. Every super chat gets an answer tonight. Knicks fan, I know you were on the Locked On feed. I didn't see it till after we were done recording. I'll try to get to you right away. And folks, if you absolutely want to get a question in, hit the super chat. We will do all of those. I can't guarantee everything else because these days we just run out of time. But we have to give you a little bit of help first because of who our sponsor is. And we appreciate them helping us and you helping them by signing up. If you want into the action and you don't want on Nightbot, go to DraftKings and get signed up. Use our code RGR, and you're going to get what you're looking for. The crown's yours. You just got to go grab it because it's DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sportsbook betting partner of the NFL playoffs. They're bringing you an offer that's going to make it absolutely electric, much like it was last night when the Chiefs got that win. It's new customers. So if you're new and you want to get into this, you can bet $5 on any game. You get $200 instantly in bonus bets straight into your account. It makes all kinds of stuff more fun and enjoyable. You can see us do some of our stuff here. We talk about it. If you want in that action, it is the place to go because there's a lot up for grabs. All you got to do is go download the DraftKings Sports app, get in there now and use our code RGR. That's going to get you this deal so that new customers can sign up and get $5. Get that bet in, and you can earn $200 back instantly in bonus bets right onto your account. Only DraftKings Sportsbook, only with the code RGR right now. The crown's yours. Go get it. If you do have a gambling problem, there are resources to help you. We encourage everyone to get after that. And even though he looks cool, he's got to do it too, because right now you can visit www.1800gambler.net in New York. Call 8778 HOPE NY or text HOPE NY. It's available there as well. In Connecticut, help is available for problems gambling. Call 888-78-97777 or go to ccbg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus. Age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Toronto. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/football for eligibility, deposit restrictions, and terms. And responsible gaming applications do apply. But check it out if you want to get in on the action. We have plenty for you as well. We're going to jump into your questions. Thank you, Justin, for getting us started before. I do appreciate it. And Chad had one. Do you think that Bugs and Mike Pennell both play Sunday? I think they should. I think they should both be on the roster for game day. I think they should be available. Will they? I think there's some stubbornness there. I'd expected both of them on this roster to stop Cook. I do think you have to be a little bit more serious about the variation maybe of the run game that's going to come at them from Baltimore. So I, again, will double down and say I think they both should. Where are you at?
If you don't have Derek Nottie on Sunday, I would even say you need to bring Farrell up, who's a 300-plus pound defensive tackle who would be a good run stopper too. He's not going to bring a ton of pass rush upside. Bugs is going to have more than that, but I don't like what Matt Dickerson was doing in this game against the Bills. I thought he was pretty much useless, and at this point, you got to do something different. I'm going to have all three of them available if it's me.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would like to have that option. Chiefs, again, is Willie Gay playing Sunday? We do not know yet. Willie's got a neck, and sometimes that can be nervous, like a stinger type situation. Sometimes it can be muscle strain that affects your back and everything else. Sometimes they can get up to the root of your skull and really cause problems with concentration and headaches and that kind of stuff. We just won't know until they give us a true update. My guess is we won't know the truth until we find out whether he practices on Thursday or not.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how the week rolls.
He thinks he's going to be ready. He said he'll be ready by game time, but that can be misconstrued. You can love it all you want to, but at the same time, like doctors clear you. You don't clear you.
Right. Yeah. You don't have that call. I love the fact that he's enthusiastic and optimistic, and I think that's who Willie is. Let's be real. Do you think that if he has helped himself be brought back next season? No. He could do that again and again. I just still don't think so.
MVS could have career back-to-back games with 3 touchdowns on Sunday and 3 touchdowns in the Super Bowl, and they're going to say, "Thank you for your service. Thank you for your second ring. It was great. It was great having you here."
See you for the ring ceremony. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Steve, will we have a similar defensive game plan after we review the film and make adjustments for the Ravens game as was similar to the Bills? I mean, in terms of being in base quite a bit, I think so. I like the concept of throwing some 46. I haven't seen the defensive film yet. I didn't see any live, Dan, that caught my eye of a 5-man front. Did you?
I didn't see any of that. And that was by design, I think. Mm-hmm. I think Spags understood, I'm not going to show my hand till the fourth quarter because that defense didn't change until the fourth quarter. Spags played the Buffalo Bills. He played them. They said, okay, we understand. I think it's because he saw what the offense was doing. He was like, okay, the offense is moving the ball. I've got time. I'm going to lull them to sleep. And that's exactly what he did, because we talked last night about how James Cook's actually they're running the ball became extremely predictable. They ran the ball on every single first down. So in the fourth quarter, Spags was like, yo, Drew, yo, Nick, Get downhill. Get downhill now. Don't even bother reading out the play. Don't even worry about what it's going to be. It's going to be a run. And it was every single time. And then it was exactly where they wanted the Bills to be. They got one touchdown on the 3rd and 13. What do you do? Or was that one was before the half? Excuse me. They got one more touchdown, but 7 points in the second half, guys. That's what it was. So I think that Spags is going to kind of play it the same way. He's just not going to let Lamar throw the ball down the field. And he's going to force Lamar to do what Josh Allen did. The difference is I don't believe Lamar is going to be as composed as Josh Allen was. I don't think he's that patient of a quarterback to just sit there and make the check downs and to make the short behind the line of scrimmage throws. We'll see. They could change their game plan. They can look at what the Bills did and maybe they come out with the same kind of game plan, or they just continue to run the football down the Chiefs' throat. Either way, I think Spags has a game plan for the Ravens.
I think so as well. And let's be real. I cannot see Lamar Jackson making that throw to Shakir in the end zone that Allen made.
I don't either.
And that's what it'll take. That's my opinion. Steve, appreciate you. Joe, the Chiefs only have one player on the roster drafted in the top 10. Well, Chiefs need to start trading up in the draft, I assume, to get better players soon, like offensive tackle, wide receiver, and defensive tackle. I mean, maybe. It depends. Every draft's a little bit different. It all depends on who's hot and who's not. It just so happens there is a after some comments today, I'm not going to start cussing on the Monday night show yet. There is a ton of wide receiver talent in this draft. So moving up for it doesn't seem like a good use of value. It's obviously one of the most glaring needs on this roster, right? So in my mind, I'm still more apt to move up for a tackle, offensive, than I am anything else right now. Defensive tackle will probably be my second. So it could happen, but they could also choose to stand pat and see what comes to them. Most likely scenario for me, Dan, I don't know how you feel, is more of like we saw with Trent McDuffie, where if somebody falls into 20-ish, where they can jump up and get them that they want. That's what I kind of see happening.
Yeah, that makes the most sense for them too, because at the end of the day, it's going to be tough to move up that far. If you're trying to move up when the bell hits 12, 13, teams are going to be like, no, we're not taking calls from the Chiefs and they want to jump all the way up here because they want someone. And realistically, I get it. I understand teams don't want to do that. So you have to play it. You kind of have to play it cool and be around that 20 and say, okay, we want to go get this guy. And teams will be, maybe they'll be a little bit more lenient in that situation. And I think that you can still do that. But I think that if you get calls from the Chiefs trying to move up from 30 to 32 to 12, teams are going to be like, funny. No.
Yeah. you just won. You're in the Final Four no matter what. Why would I help you stay there?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I will say this though. There was a nice piece today. I think it was Mike Sando that wrote it on The Athletic about just the difference in the evolution of the rosters. And you guys know me, I'm always about team building, and I'll probably follow this up with something over on NFL 33. A lot of 33 content is behind the wall now, guys. You got to get over there and get subbed. And I know it's another fee. It's another thing to pay for every week. And we're all trying to avoid that. But, to make that float, that's what we got to do over there. It's key because it's a really small piece of team building I think has a big effect. From 2021 on, the Chiefs have gotten dramatically younger and the Bills have gotten dramatically older. And I think that's a big piece of it too. So it's not necessarily having to have top 10 talent. It's having to hit on your talent in the first 3 picks every draft, every year, in order to keep replenishing that talent pool. I think
your process has to get refined and it has to be more detailed. You can't just take big swings in the first round because you're trying to hit on those big players. You're trying to get players that fit what you're doing. That's the difference, is the Chiefs have done that. They have drafted players now that fit what they want. Rashee Rice didn't know it beforehand, but he fits what they are looking for. Yards after the catch, he's starting to learn the zone spots, and they can use him on the outside in some of those contested situations. So he adds that element. And then on the defensive side, we've seen them just say, all right, well, Trent McDuffie falls. We didn't think he was going to be there. let's go get him. And then, okay, we've got Watson, we've got Williams on the board, we've got Najee Johnson. These guys all fit what we want, and we're going to develop them. And they've done that. Shamari Connor, Brian Cook, all of these guys fit what they want, and they've just been doing it and developing these players week in and week out, every single year. So yeah, you have to get the process right and draft for what you are looking for your team. That's the big difference.
And I think the lesson that I've learned from that, and we talk about it every offseason, is how to continue to be who you are and have to do it differently, right? I think what the Chiefs have learned the lesson in the last 2 postseasons, that we are a little bit slower on the uptake to recognize what they're doing, is they've learned to say, I don't have to be who I am. I can be something else. You know what? If you're going to cover over the top of us and you're going to keep 3 and 4 guys deep, fine. We'll hit you with yak monsters underneath and we'll throw short balls and we'll run you to death. And that's, I mean, it has to go back to a basic ball coach kind of mentality of what would you do if this is your problem, right? Well, I throw it short and I have dudes that are hard to tackle and are going to break tackles and we're going to run over you. It's pretty straightforward. Throw the ball where it ain't, you know, we overthink it sometimes. And I am even more so guilty than everybody else. Thank you, Alex. You hit one and I hit Chad's here, unfortunately, first. Alex said, Chiefs against the world. And it's funny how just like that, the world became Ravens fans.
Oh, yeah.
And, when you're the guy on top, everybody wants to knock you off. So it's the way that it goes. Alex, thanks for the support, buddy.
Appreciate you, Alex.
Super chat. Chad, do you think that Andy's still holding back plays, waiting for the perfect time to use them, Dad?
Yes. And the reason I say that is because he told us in his press conference after. They said they had a game plan extremely thick for that game. And Matt Nagy and Andy Reid on the sideline were like, we don't have to use half of this. And they didn't. They could do the same thing over and over again. And they actually did. I'm going to break it down on my film room this week. They had a couple of wipe plays. That's when you saw Creed Humphrey going out, switching places, and being more of that zone guy out there with the guard. It's where it's a zone play, but they take the guard, they block him down, and they take Creed Humphrey and roll him out. That's wipe. You guys, we've seen the Eagles do it, the 49ers do it, but that's what that is. And they did that like 4 times in this game. They also did those. I'm not sure if they were like, the word is escaping me right now, but they were like those power tosses. Those tosses where they pulled guys. It wasn't counter
pin pull sweeps,
but the pin pull sweep. So they were just tossing it to Isaiah Pacheco. They did that at least 3 or 4 times in this game too. So they found some things that they knew the Bills were having trouble with, and they just kept going at it until they brought like 8 guys in the box. But they did that in the 4th quarter. How much do you want to bet if they would have done it in the 3rd quarter? The Chiefs would have had something built off of that to go attack down the field, because that was coming next. And I tell you what, they're going to have an extensive game plan, and they're going to be able to get into the bag against the Baltimore Ravens.
I completely agree with you, and I'm here for it. Thanks, buddy. Ozzy, thoughts on Tennessee hiring the Bengals OC as head coach? I would have imagined that Lou got a head coach first. Was that Zach Robinson? Did that happen?
I don't believe it was Zach Robinson. No, let me look really quickly because it's Brian Callahan.
Okay. Anything that brings down the Bengals, I'm happy for. Hey Jamar, how you feeling, buddy? How you like that? Okay.
I think it's more about the fact that when Burrow went down, he made Jake Browning look very good. I think that's why he got a head coaching job, not because of what he's done with Joe Burrow, what he did with Jake Browning. And they want to cultivate an offense that gets the ball out quickly and can execute with a quarterback in Will Levis that struggles to do that struggles to operate quickly, that struggles to see pressure. And if he's holding the football a long time, he doesn't see pressure, he doesn't see it at all. And we saw that evident with the Tennessee Titans. So they want an offense that will help him get the ball out quickly, but also can build that play action game off it, so he's not always just sitting in the pocket waiting to get sacked. And that's my opinion on why Callahan was brought in as the head coach.
And that's a really good point, because let's be real, folks. If you're waiting for it, there is no relief coming from Malik Willis. They spent multiple picks on quarterbacks and they have nothing to show for it. And the old adage in the NFL is, old adage in the NFL, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. That's the problem. And they're going to have to continue to make do. I think that's what they're getting at too.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy. Franklin, thank you as well. Another one of our members. If Jason Kelce doesn't retire and isn't brought back to the Eagles, can we bring him in as a backup? Absolutely. How are they ever going to get the beer out of the locker room, though?
I don't think he'd play as a backup, though. You think he wants to not retire
either.
and be a backup? Unless we're talking about Trey Smith not being on this team and you play him at guard. Sure. I'm all for that.
I was just thinking that too. What if he moved to guard?
Yeah.
I mean, play with his brother. I mean, I think it's retire, though. I thought he had another year on his contract. I'm going to look that up.
No, it was he signed a 1-year deal worth $15 million with the Eagles in the offseason.
Okay,
that was it.
I thought it was a 2. Okay, cool. I mean, how much fun would that be? The guy looked like me on a Saturday night last night. I mean, what are you going to do, right?
He hasn't said anything about retiring yet. We'll find out in the coming months. I'm not. Again, we did the member stream and we were talking about this, and we didn't think he should retire based on the way he's playing. Like, we didn't feel like it, but we saw his reaction after the game. It was a moment, and obviously there was a lot of emotions there. And there's a reason that he decided to come back and say, nothing's been fully decided yet. It's something you don't decide in the moment with the emotions. So there is a possibility he comes back, but I'm leaning far more towards he's retiring it this year. Like, he's done.
There's a number of questions in the chat, I'm sure, just to kind of go along with this one, Franklin. I just want to sidetrack us for just a second. We won't take long. We'll get back to the questions. The dude was clearly having a good time, right? He was clearly there to support his brother, but let's be real. He probably wouldn't do that without some alcohol in the system. He's probably dealing with this decision. It seems like it's a strain on him from their podcast, from what we saw post-game, from everything that I've seen. I think he's really struggling with the decision. Where do you think he is?
Wouldn't you be after you put your heart and soul into this for the last 16, 17 years? And you think, like a lot of your teammates and your coaches and a lot of people in the media felt this was a year that could get back to the Super Bowl, and everything just disappeared. Yeah. And it ended in a way where it's got to leave an extremely bad taste in your mouth. So, well, yeah, I think that he's struggling with this decision because he doesn't want to go out that way. His body, from everything that we have heard in this podcast, does not agree with him. He looks good playing out there, but there's a lot that he has to do to get ready for his season. And at some point, I'm not doing it anymore. I get it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care if he's interested, whether they keep Trey or not. I'd love to have him on the roster. You don't got to go to camp. You ain't got to do jack. You show up whenever you want. By the time they go back to Kansas City, you got 2 weeks to get ready for the regular season. I'm fine with that. I would play 6 offensive linemen all damn day, every day, if they were able to sign him. Isaiah Pacheco would be in no better hands than if you could do that. I mean, let's be real. You're going to take Donnie's question. I will read it, though. Could we still pry Josh Reynolds away from Detroit? And how good of a postseason he's been having?
I mean, I don't know, man. I wanted the Chiefs to sign Josh Reynolds when he was released by the Rams a few years ago. I thought he's a good player, and we're kind of saying he's a pretty good player. At worst, he's a useful player, and he's a better type of player than Demarcus Robinson was. We got my daughter playing a little hide and seek over here with the camera. Do you think Josh Reynolds is a good receiver, sweetie? Yeah. She knows ball. He's a good receiver. And I don't think he's leaving. I think that the Lions are on a trending team up. The difference will be how close is he to Ben Johnson? What is their plan to replace Ben Johnson? Because I'll tell you right now, the Eagles sure wish they had Shane Steichen this year.
Yeah.
The Lions might do the exact same thing. Play callers and offensive coordinators are not. You don't find them on trees. You don't get Ben Johnsons all the time. You don't have them on your trees. So I don't know. Maybe.
Sorry, I'm distracted playing with the kid.
That's fine. Everyone.
That's what we do at dinner too, kids. Don't worry about it. This is a good one. Who would you take, Xavier Worthy or Troy Flanken, Franklin. Also, what was up with the late hit on our punt returner in the first half? Yeah, I think he was engaged with another player. I want to say that it was wasn't Jack Cochran. Okay? It was
please don't do that with your spit.
The other guy, the other reserve linebacker whose name is escaping me right now. I think they were engaged, and I don't know if he pushed him over him or what, but I think that's why they didn't throw the flag, because they were kind of like shoving each other. But man, if you're talking in general well-roundedness, who would you have as the better receiver?
I would more well-rounded, I think, is Xavier Worthy. I think he's a better overall player. Like, I think Troy Franklin could become a Jordan Addison type player in the NFL. Mm-hmm. My problem with Troy is that he's like Xavier Worthy is small, but he's compact still.
Meat. Yeah,
he's got more meat to him than Troy Franklin does. Troy Franklin is a pole, and he's not going to be getting stronger or bigger in the NFL. He's just not. And what we've seen, Avery, don't do that. That's not very nice. Don't play with that. Okay, Scherzer doesn't want you to play with that bone. Troy Franklin in the NFL will get pushed around a lot. It worries me a little bit. I think he has the ability
to get a little bit stronger leverage-wise. He reminds me of a guy that hasn't grown into contact yet. He looks like he looks like A.T. Perry 2 years before he graduated. You know what I mean? Where he was getting bumped off of routes. A.T. grew into it. He is bigger in general, but I think Troy's faster and is more of a linear threat down the field. But I would
think
say
Worthy's a better yak guy too. I think he's better in the yak department.
Worthy, yeah. And I think he's all around.
The ball. His ball tracking is better than Franklin's too. It just is. It's miles better in my opinion,
dude. He and Rome Odunze are probably the best ball trackers in this draft.
You can't teach what he has. He has instinctual. His instincts with when the ball is in the air are fantastic, and his speed is right there with Troy Franklin's. It's right there. So
I think it might be better actually. When I look at it, I think
his acceleration is better than Troy's.
Yeah,
but I think his flatline speed, I think Troy's got to
top end. Okay, fair enough. For this offense, it's no question to me Worthy is the better pick to fit Andy Reid in this scheme.
I agree.
So
sorry, Justin. We're not going to hold off on the draft questions. We got people that want to know.
Yeah, I do get too deep into it. We should have just said an answer and gone. But I will speed it up, Justin. Jesus, will the Chiefs miss Noddy or Gay next game? It feels like Noddy might miss.
Yeah,
I'm a little more optimistic on Willie.
Yeah, I think Willie's going to play. I do. I know that we said that we don't want to just assume that because he said he's going to be good to go. I think he's going to play.
Yeah. Thank you, Jesus. Appreciate it. Donnie, would you rather trade up for a left tackle or sign Tyron Smith and draft a day 2 tackle? You got a day 2 tackle. His name is Wani Morris. I mean, can Tyron still get it done? Some days I think he can. Some days I don't think he can. So for the money, I'm not sure I'd go that direction.
That's the problem with injuries, man. Tyron Smith's been hurt. Like all his entire career, he's been nothing but injuries.
Yeah.
It's hard to live that way.
For long, that's for dang sure.
Yeah.
Alex, Ravens are good, but do you think Mahomes' experience in these games will benefit the Chiefs more? I could see Lamar pressing. I could see that as well. And there's been some good games by Bateman. Obviously, Odell's Odell, and playoff Odell's probably still capable of doing some things. Last I saw, it was very iffy whether Andrews was going to be able to be back. And so for me, it's the bigger worry for me is about what does Lamar and Likely do when they get out, especially if Willie's not on the field.
I'm telling you right now, Mark Andrews is playing in this football game. I would put a boatload of money on it. A boatload.
Okay.
He's not sitting out the AFC Championship game. So for me, I don't think I think like Lamar is in a really good place. I think he's obviously got the confidence of his coach and offensive coordinator. And I think this is the year that he's kind of put it all together. So I'm not worried about him pressing too much. You still can get that. It's his first AFC Championship appearance. That doesn't just those nerves don't just go away. It's about how he uses them. And I think that he's in a good spot to be able to use them well. We'll find out.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Ozzy. Connor was the 3rd highest graded player from PFF. Would you use his role evolving going forward? I mean, yes, we've planned for it to evolve, and it definitely will next year. I don't lean too heavily on PFF grades. They certainly look the other way of a couple of significant missed tackles. I would not say Jamari Conner was the best defensive player on the field last night. I don't know if you would, dude.
He wasn't. I would say he was arguably in the top 5. I would
Yeah.
say he was in the top 5. But again, like you said, this past week we've seen a lot of back and forth with the PFF stuff. And I'll tell you right now, the players, the coaches, they don't take them very seriously for a reason. And I know that the PFF guys will tell you, well, that's because you don't understand it. They do. They know.
They just don't care.
Everyone knows your system. Everyone does. It's not that hard to figure out. It's very easy. So just please stop.
Yeah. But his role definitely evolved going forward. I think it's kind of sidetracked him a little bit having to play more safety than nickel. Or what I'm really interested in is he's got more range than I think Tyron did, certainly when he was with the Chiefs. Maybe when Tyron was younger, it was similar, but he can do that robber thing that Tyron was so good at. And I think that's going to be his bread and butter eventually.
I agree.
Cody, media is singing the praises of Allen, saying he's a better quarterback than Patrick. What did I miss? That's been going on for the last week. And that's what we were complaining about last night. Like all these so-called mavens and people with opinions, I couldn't care less. They're just singing the praises of output. And because Patrick's had a down year with his receivers, they started to make it sound like Patrick wasn't as good anymore. Well, guess what happened? Reaper spoke.
The big thing today was everyone was making excuses for Josh Allen, which I get. He didn't deserve, he played very well yesterday. He did. And he was let down by his receivers. But it's funny, the gatekeeping and the defense that he gets in a game like this when Patrick needs to play better. Yeah, he's getting receivers dropping his football all year long, but he's got to play better. Like I get it. I think Josh Allen was fantastic in that game, and he did get let down. But let's be real. They had the ball. They had the ball.
Opportunities.
It's not like they didn't have the football. It was 3rd and 9. It was 2nd and 9, and it was first and there. You got yourself an opportunity there, man. And he did not run the ball at all in that moment. I think that speaks to him freezing up a little bit. Now, he made the right decision on the Shakur throw, in my opinion, because he had him wide open. So you can't account for Chris Jones taking Deion Dawkins and put him in your lap.
Right.
Everyone that was talking mad smack about Chris Jones in the first half was also by design, in my opinion. He was resting quite a bit, and he got a lot of double teams. And then in the second half, they put him one-on-one with Deion Dawkins, and he wrecked them. He kind of wrecked them.
I agree. It's a little too much possum playing for me, but especially in a game like that, when the last possession is likely the one that's going to win the ball game, you got to save it for that. Did you see Andy take a sly shot at the Ravens post game? No time for dancing tonight. We've got more to do. I didn't. Oh, was that because Harbaugh was dancing around? Okay.
Yeah, Andy said that after they won in the locker room, which good for Andy. I mean, but at the same time, when's the last time John Harbaugh was in the AFC Championship game? Like, it's been since Joe Flacco. Like, let's not forget. It's been a long time for him too. Like, they haven't won a playoff game in quite a while. They've been knocked out in the first round of every year of Lamar's career. That was his first postseason win, or second postseason win. Excuse me, his second postseason win. So they're trying to get the mojo up. Like, that's what they do. They do their own thing, and I'm not going to knock anyone for doing it. But Andy Reid understands what it takes to win here. They're just like, you guys, we got another one next week. That's the difference here. That's the thing, is that
we'll dance when the confetti's fall.
Right. When we get the Lamar Hunt Trophy back in Kansas City, we'll be dancing. We'll have a good time.
We're just gonna hold on. Brandon, and yes, I do think the villain thing. I don't think that was a villain role so much as, hey, stay focused. Don't overly celebrate this, Ozzy. Brandon, Patrick is in rare air. How rare is he? He's one of one. Yeah. Unless his career is derailed by injury, he will go down as the greatest quarterback of all time. I am assured of it, because he's even got me reconsidering my stance on Joe Montana being right there. And I still think Joe was a better actual quarterback for his era than Tom was, but that's me. He will be in that conversation. Hell, he's in that conversation now, isn't he? I mean,
Yeah,
it's him and Tom. That's what it is.
Tom Brady has a streak of eight straight AFC Championship games at some point in his career. Patrick now is at 6.
Yep.
That's what they're chasing. This is not that they don't have anything else to prove. They literally don't. They have nothing else to prove. This is about becoming the greatest team of all time. That's what this is right now.
Yeah, I agree. Ozzy, do you think the media was inventing retirement rumors for Andy and Trav if they were winning? And can they stop? Yeah, I do think a lot of that was just pure conjecture. I don't think it was anything solid. Did it enter one in their minds? Probably at one point, but I don't think it was more than a fleeting thought. I think it was just a way to get clicks and listens.
But Trav's even admitted, like, do you guys not think about your futures? Do you never think about anything like that? And Trav came out in that press conference and said, "Yeah, I've thought about it, but I'm not done. I'm not even that close to it." That's why I was saying he's not retiring this year, guys.
No.
If they win the Super Bowl this year, Andy Reid and Patrick and Travis Kelce will be here in 2024. They'll be at training camp. It'll be the same thing.
He might be late training camp. I don't know. Put it this way: the Eras Tour will be over before Travis Kelce retires. That's all I'm gonna say. Cole, thank you. Love the channel. Can the Chiefs beat the Ravens? Absolutely,
absolutely.
And if things go the way I think they might, it might not be as close as this last ball game we just watched.
Ryan, I'm sorry.
I'm just saying.
I'm sorry. I don't think that at this point. Blowout's not happening.
I'm not saying blowout. I'm just saying it might not come down to the wire like that.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
Please.
What do you make of FAU being another healthy scratch in the playoffs? I get maybe last week, but yikes. Don't overreact to it. It is what it is. We told you guys he wasn't a first-round grade to begin with. He had an uphill battle. He needs to learn. He needs to develop. There's a lot going on there. Don't hold it against him. It's not a problem. He will come into camp better and ready to go next year, and he will improve yet again. And I think if we get to this point next season and we're still not seeing him, then we start to get worried.
That's it. In the postseason, you want players that have been there on the defensive side, especially with injuries. FAU had a lot to learn, especially as from a run defense perspective. So he gets to sit on the sidelines and watch how the Chiefs get it done and talk to the coaches. Immediate feedback. What happened here? How did they do this? All of this stuff happens for him on the sidelines when he's able to just kind of move around and see what's happening. So I understand that it's frustrating. They spend a first-round draft pick on a guy who was second-round grade in my book, in Ryan's book. We didn't have him in the first round, but again, you're picking at 32. You're not getting a first-round graded player at 32. You're just not getting it. So you have to have some give and take with this, and they wanted more experience. People have been in the postseason on their defensive line, and Herring deserved it. He's deserved to play the snaps that he's gotten. So I've gotten zero issue with it, especially with the now Derek Nottie injury. You need a little bit more room there for defensive tackle help.
I'm with you. Yeah, you need a couple extra bodies. I'm totally with you there. Corey, everyone is making the Ravens out to be unstoppable, unbeatable Goliath. What are your honest assessments, Dan?
The Ravens are this is the best Ravens team that they've had under Lamar Jackson. It is. Todd Monken's offense is allowing him to be a quarterback and not just a run-first guy. He's also not just taking off every time that he escapes the pocket. His eyes are being used downfield more and better than he has in the past. All of that's true. I think that the defense is good. I think you can still throw the football on this defense. I know that Mike McDonald does a lot of moving. That's not going to phase Patrick very much. It's just not. He's seen Lou Anarumo. Lou has given him some of the biggest problems in his career. He's seen all that. This disguise is from the Bills. They've seen all that. Patrick knows what's coming. He's going to know what to do. I'm not so worried about the defensive side. I'm a little more worried about what the Chiefs do with the middle of the field, because that's where they're best, is up the middle. And you can get them on the outside. So we'll see what happens there. But they're a very good team that has faced a pretty easy way there. I mean, yeah, they got the 1 seed. They beat the San Francisco 49ers. They did. That was great. Fantastic on their part. I don't know. I think that they are a very good football team, and we're the best AFC team front to back in the NFL this year.
Yeah, I
The
agree.
difference is that experience in the postseason weighs heavy,
Yeah.
heavy. So
Now,
we'll see.
don't get me wrong. They're catching a break if it's really going to be like 48 degrees.
Yeah,
They're definitely catching a break there. But
I think that's better
yeah,
for Chiefs, to be honest with you.
okay.
Baltimore
Eh,
plays cold football all the time too. Like that's not news to them.
Fair. And hey, if they fall asleep, they fall asleep. I still have questions. Their safety, who we loved out of Notre Dame, that I just lost his name, literally just went out of my head.
Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, great player. I think he's really rounded into shape to what we expected him to be. He could still get got by guys on this roster. He is not an all-pro. And if you can get behind them, and I think they're going to get behind them, there's going to be hell to pay. Voodoo, are the Bills as we know them done as a true Super Bowl contender in 2024, considering the cap situation for them next year? I don't think so. Doesn't look like you think so either, Dan. Anytime you have Josh Allen, if you can rebuild around him, they ain't done. They ain't done. The real question is going to be, how do you get younger? Because they're so old on the defensive side of the ball. And Khalil Shakir's bright. Kincaid is bright. Like their future at the pass catching position is there. Do they keep Diggs? I don't know. Diminishing returns now, right? The bigger question for me is what happens, good God, if they let McDermott go and they bring somebody in that's an offensive guy. You might get back to the days where they have to go back to the Chiefs mode of 2 years ago, where they're putting up 35 to win because their defense got old and they can't stop anybody. And the Chiefs are in the opposite. So, like, it's going to be yin and yang where they're going. But I think the bigger change is going to be at the coaching staff than it is about the personnel.
I'll keep it simple. You got Josh Allen, you're in it. Josh Allen's a unicorn. He's a unicorn.
Yep.
Just is.
Just a different color horn on him than there is on Patrick. Ron, thanks for the support, buddy. Yeah, I wasn't going to go there. I wasn't okay. It's really sad that people are calling for changing the fumble in the back of the end zone rule now. How many rules are they going to change for Allen?
Did that?
I mean, that didn't really help him much, other than he didn't have. The Chiefs should have
it hurt the
scored
Chiefs.
There.
It hurt the Chiefs. It's not like it hurt the Bills. I'm trying to. I understand like what you're getting at here, but it helped them. It helped them, and I don't care. I'll be very honest with you. Don't fumble the ball inside the damn 2-yard line. Hold on to the football. This is a very easy replicatable situation. Most people don't fumble the football in this situation. Just don't do it.
Yeah. Plenty of people reach out and make that extra effort, which I actually enjoy. And I think that there is value there, but McCole ain't the guy. Hey, where'd that pencil go? This doesn't hold on to a football that great. You know what I mean?
He fumbled twice in that game, guys. Twice. Yeah. Not by mistake.
Lamar's in his first year of this offense. Do you think Spags will be able to confuse and make him think more enough to slow him down? Absolutely. It's not even about his offense. It's just about what Spags is doing. The key for me there is, do they get Edwards back? Because some of those funk rotations that they were showing against the Dolphins and stuff, you got to do some of that too. And I'm not so sure that Deion Bush can handle that. And while I want to think Shamari can, I'm not certain of that either.
I think that Lamar knows what he's doing. And I'll be honest. I think Spags will get him a couple times. He will. You might see him twitch or him, clutch. The big equalizer here is that Lamar is so electric that it might not even matter sometimes. And that's the game you play against Lamar. He can burn you pretty quick. You got to get to him first, and you have to be able to force him to kind of chuck it up, because the difference between him and Allen is that he's got a great arm. Allen throws through anything. He throws through it. And I think Lamar, you can get him off his back foot, and where that velocity will kind of disappear.
Yeah.
And you can maybe get a couple of floaters in there.
I'll take it. Justin, thanks, buddy. Appreciate the support. Can you doubt the Chiefs? Oh, you can doubt the Chiefs. You can dislike the Chiefs, but you're going to have to deal with the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus said. Good for Mitch. He's good for a slogan, man. I love that. No, I've never heard an announcer more bought in than him. I will give him credit.
It's great.
Yeah. Raphael, thank you. If there is no Tooney, what would be our plan to keep Mahomes on his feet? I worry the game could look like Tampa Bay. You don't have to worry about that. Allegretti's solid. Wande Morris will be, if he's available, could be another option.
Yeah.
I don't think he's played guard. Playing inside of Donovan Smith, I think might actually help him. You know, I think the support from Creed would be good as well. So I think that they have options, Raphael. I'm not too concerned about it.
I'm not as worried as, again, looking back, I should have been far more worried about that game against Tampa Bay. I should have been far more worried about it, but I wasn't. This is a little bit different. And again, like I said, Allegretti, even in that game where he played, held his own. He held his own. So he's got a lot of experience, a lot of starting experience. Don't forget, he started that entire 2020 season. So this would not be different for Nick Allegretti. He would be able to come in and play good football. It's more about, I think, the fact that, Joe is an all-pro. You're not getting all-pro play out of Nick Allegretti. You'll get solid play.
Yeah. He'll be the weakest link in the chain, but it won't be a broken chain.
Yeah.
That's okay. Super Squid, thank you. Do you think that there might be an odd benefit to losing the Bills in the regular season? Typically, it's hard to beat a team twice. You're absolutely right. I don't know if I'd still go for it on purpose, but yeah, like a familiarity is born there, right? You'll notice that AJ Epinesa was nowhere to be found last night, right? Yeah. I don't even know how many snaps he played because I didn't notice him once. There are some certain things that you can learn and take away and adjust your game plan to deal with your opponent.
Yeah, I've said it before. Like, I used to, the last couple of years, the last 3 years, I've gone to the Chiefs-Bills game, and they're in the regular season, and they've lost them, and I keep saying it. If I have to watch them lose in the regular season to the Bills so they beat them in the playoffs, I'll do it every single time. I got zero problem with that. I'm there.
Yeah. Daryl Miller, you're a monster.
Thank you, Daryl.
And Daryl's been here from the beginning, folks. We every now and then have a member stream. We used to have member get-togethers on Zoom and stuff. Daryl's been here from the beginning. He's helping you be a member as well. Appreciate you, buddy, for getting that out to folks. Very much appreciate you. Tom, hey, guys, recovered from the celebration Monday. Well done. I heard Jason Kelce might need some help getting to his beer game on this Sunday. You should help him. Yeah, if I could help him, yeah, that'd be interesting.
I've heard a couple of stories about Jason Kelce. Trust me, he doesn't need our help.
No. I mean, back in the day, maybe, but I don't know if I can keep up no more.
I know I can't. That guy can drop 20 and no problem.
Yeah, dude. He's the whole chug thing. He's fast. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate you, and thank you guys for all the support. Do you potentially believe that Andy is hiding Ross? No, I do not. I don't think Ross has earned his way in the looks that he's gotten to be on the field right now. I think Andy's hopeful for Ross and that eventually he can grow into a guy that can contribute. But I don't think he's hiding him. Dan, am I wrong?
No, I don't think he's hiding him at all. We told you this was a factor. Yeah. We did warn you injuries were a big thing here.
Yeah. Chiefs again, why was Kelce's brother shirtless in the cold weather game? Because he's a maniac. And he was excited to watch his brother play.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Probably 10 beers deep. Probably.
Yeah.
He's probably 10 beers deep. If we're being honest with ourselves, he probably didn't feel that cold one bit.
I mean, think about his situation. You just got laid off. You ain't got no job. You're watching a football game with your mom and the biggest pop star in the world. What are you going to do for attention? Well, you get half naked. What are you going to do? I don't know. I think it was hilarious. And I do think that he's trying to have some fun, trying to take his mind off of his decision.
Thank you.
Cody, excuses. All I hear from the big head ESPN guys. I never giving us credit. Yeah, I mean, they play up to the villain role as much as Patrick's playing up to it right now and saying that, hey, they're the champs. You don't want them back. We're going to run them down for you a little bit. It's what makes TV go around, unfortunately. What does Avery think? I don't know. See, she pays attention. Have you seen the mock drafts they picked a DT from Michigan? How funny, I think, if they need a wide receiver, if a good one, but he might be to get a tight end. it's all about value and where you're picking. And that's Chris Jenkins you're talking about from Michigan. He's a good player. Do I think he's probably in the first round? I'm not so sold yet, but I mean, Byron Murphy's going to be gone. I mean, I think he might be the best fit. I honestly am not sure I want a Sweat style of play, so I don't know that I'd go for him, but
Yeah, he's
DT's
also
certainly
not
in
a
the top
first rounder
100
for
list.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, agreed. But
So
like in a top 100, I think DT could be one of the picks, Ashley. I think it could.
yeah, I think it should be. Honestly, looking at their tackle situation, it kind of has to be, especially if we're talking about Chris Jones not being on this roster next year. They got holes to fill.
Yeah. But let's be real. If Chris Jones isn't on this roster next year, there's a top 50 pick coming your way that you're using to replace him.
Correct.
And sign Christian Wilkins. I hope. What's up, fellas? Hope you're doing well, Callie. Can't believe this is the same team I threw the towel in a month ago. What are your guys' keys to victory to defeat in this one? Well, first, dude, you can't go to the game, okay? You gotta stay home.
Stay home.
But take care of business. I think you're going to see base personnel. I hope that you see the bigger bodies on the defensive line because that helps take away the run. They're going to run at you. Then it's about how do you limit where, not what, but where Lamar can throw the ball, because he will throw the ball. If he has to check it down, you're winning. You do that job, and I'm confident in the Chiefs secondary. I think that is the recipe for victory. If you give them the ball back and you turn it over, you're done.
I think that you're going to see a lot of the same defensive stuff that we saw against the Bills. This offensive line isn't as good as Buffalo's had been playing. It's not, especially they're injured. They're rotating. I don't know if they're going to keep, rotating Stanley out there, but he's been nicked up all year, just continuously all year long. They have a good offensive line, but it hasn't been as good lately. I think that they can kind of get away with what they were doing and just kind of wait it out a little bit, get into second and long, third and long situations. And I'll be honest, I trust Josh Allen a little bit more in those situations than I do Lamar with the arm. Now, his legs are different. So we'll see. I think he's just as live to do what Josh Allen did as Josh Allen did. So it's something that you're going to have to mess with and just kind of hope.
But don't get me wrong. If you limit Lamar Jackson to 75 yards rushing, you win.
Yeah, I agree.
Good job. Hey, thanks, Callie. Hope you're well. Hope you're doing good as well, buddy. Do you think you'll see more blitzing from the Chiefs against the Ravens? How would you approach stopping the run if you were Spags? I know what I would do, Dan. You want to go first?
I think we need to see a little bit more of what we saw in the fourth quarter early against the Ravens. If that's, again, the plan is to get after them quickly. But I think the plan is to make Lamar think. To make him think a little bit more. Yeah, disguise everything. Drop defensive linemen into coverage and into holes. They like to do a lot of that. They can still do a lot of that, and that takes away quick throws. And again, Lamar will clutch the football, and if you can get him running in circles back there, you're more alive to be able to either come down with an interception, batted ball, or get a sack. It's going to be really tough to get to him. And after you didn't sack Josh Allen all in this football game, that's going to make it even more difficult. Again, I'll say it again. Their offensive line has not played as well as the Buffalo Bills has. So there is that. Disguise.
Yeah, I'm with you. I personally would try to take away the run first. The first drive, I'm going to load up, and I'm going to give you a bear look. I'm going to put 3 guys on the interior, and I am exactly doing what you're talking about, Dan. I'm dropping one of the edges. Drop them out, replace them with a blitz, so you get 5 rushers still, but not what they're expecting. And that way you have a little bit of contain on him. And unfortunately, I'm going to go against what I normally would prescribe because Lamar is better even than Patrick is. If you flush him up the middle and you flush him to the side, he will kill you. So I'm not sending the linebackers this time. I'm going to give you a drop look from one. I'm going to replace it with one of the DBs, and I'm going to come after you because their DBs blitz well. I am going to come after him, especially early in that first 15 script.
Yeah, I'm with you.
We're going to speed up, folks. It's speed round so we can get finished up here. Cavelli, the Bills run game was different than how the Ravens run it, though. There was a 6 lineman there a lot in the runs for the Bills, and which gave them an advantage of size. Do you think that there's a difference? I think that there is, but I do think innately the 5 offensive linemen, if they're playing up to their potential, are better in Baltimore than they are in Buffalo. Am I wrong?
Maybe. I don't know if you're going to be able to get that either because of the injuries. Again, I still think that Stanley's hurt, so I don't know you can count on that. But Patrick Ricard is a legitimate blocker. He's not just someone who comes in to catch the football. He's a legit blocker, so he's someone you have to be accounting for.
He might as well be the sixth lineman lined up in the back.
Yeah, agreed.
Honestly. Thanks, Cavelli. Tom, Ryan, Dan, and Jason shirtless shotgunning beers. Yes, we could pull that off. And baby Gronk over here will get all the ladies' looks because me and
Dude, I will tell you right now, I have never shotgunned a beer in my life. I've never done it.
Be fun.
I've never done it.
You, me, and Kelce. Okay, I'm down. Tom, you set that up. I'm down. John Mahomes, 6 years as a starter in the NFL, 6 AFC championships. To start his career, has this been done before? No. And at what point in the naysayers wake up? And I'm talking the inevitable best ever. They won't until it happens. What you'll get is you'll get retrospective once his career ends, and then they'll start giving him the flowers.
It's honest. I think it's going to happen in the next couple of years. After this year, I think we're going to start seeing it too. People are going to be like, they were dead in the water, but Patrick revived them. He did. He's just inevitable, guys.
And what's crazy? How did he revive them? He revived them by doing less, by playing better controlled ball. Yeah, I love that storyline. It's incredible. Jesse, thank you, buddy. Is swag an underrated aspect of wide receiver play? Yes. Yeah. As soon as she was drafted, I knew he had swag. Sky has none, and look at him now. That's not the reason, though. But yes, swag, edge, confidence, cockiness. It's definitely a resource.
Yeah, I don't think Rice is cocky, but he's definitely got swag. He really dresses well, like the drip, as they say. He's also got the $1 million smile. Like that guy's got everything going for him.
Yeah, he got charisma. When Jason retires from the podcast, it'll be Rasheed and Kelce doing this. I'm sure. Thanks, Jesse. Kevin, whether or not the Chiefs win the Super Bowl this year, which wide receiver do you see the Chiefs moving up to get in the first or second round? Move up? Oh, they could stay where they are and get several good guys, but if they decide to go tackle in the first, I would love to see them come up to around 50 and get Jalen Pope.
Sure. And then that would be a lot of what they did last year. They drafted FAU in the first round, and they came up and get Rasheed Rice. I think that the Chiefs I still believe that they're going to take a wide receiver in the first round. Again, this is depending upon what happens in free agency. There are a lot of things that can happen then. But from now, I still think it's going to be a wide receiver. And I think the guy that's going to be dropping in this draft is Keon Coleman, specifically because of what Florida State was unable to do down the stretch. And it wasn't his fault. Not his fault at all. So I think if there's a guy that's going to fall that they could go to get, it would be him.
Thanks, Kevin. Cato, how are you doing, bud? It's been a while. Being the Bucks finished the way they did, do you think there's even a chance Evans for still, or will he just resign? He feels like a loyal guy to me, dude. If he's going to play somewhere, it feels like he's going to go back to Tampa.
I feel it too. I'll be honest though. It's going to be down to what he thinks he can do. If he thinks that they can win with Baker Mayfield as their quarterback for the next few years, because Baker's getting extended in Tampa Bay. I'll promise you that right now.
Yeah.
Do you think he stays? I don't know. Again, loyalty.
I mean, they were in it until last week. Let's be real.
I know, man. I'm just trying to talk myself. I'm trying to talk myself into him coming to Kansas City, but he's probably going to stay in Tampa.
Yeah, I'm with you. Good to see you, Cato. Donnie, how do we feel about Brian Thomas Jr.? Like what he has. I haven't done film on him extensively enough to know, but I do know he has wheels. I know he's got, what is he, 6'3"?
Yeah, he's like 6'3". I don't know. It hasn't been verified, but he's 6'3". Good downfield ball skills, really good speed. I'd love him in the second round. I'm not taking him in the first.
And someone will is the problem. Carlos, thank you, buddy. How do we beat the Ravens? Lamar's ability to run and throw the ball scares me, not to mention their defense is playing well. Same story as the Bills. Chiefs offense needs to be a little bit more on point. They need to maintain their balance in the passing game. They need to take advantages when they have them. But, I mean, I don't think Lamar's a better quarterback than Josh. I got to tell you. So it's about the cast of characters. Are his guys going to drop passes? I don't think so. That might be the difference.
They didn't against the Texans. They didn't do that. They absolutely didn't. I think that the Chiefs lock in away from home. They played a very clean football game against the Bills. They were locked in. I think they're going to be locked in going into Baltimore. And that clears up a lot of the mental errors when you don't have time to think because the crowd is so loud. I watched the entire offensive film back again, and there were so many small details in that game that they had to be locked in while all the crowd noise was going on. So I think it plays to their benefit.
I agree. I think it's going to be a big plus. Let's see here. Missed the stream last night. Happy birthday. Appreciate it, Cameron.
Nice.
It sucks to get older, but I'm glad that you guys were around. So, Carlos, thank you for your super chat. Appreciate you, bud. I'll take a 5 spot any day. Oregon, is there a reliable brace for tuning to wear that would hold up in a game? Here's the problem with it: is a pec is so central to all shoulder girdle movement. You can put they call it a I can't remember what they call it. It's like a straight jacket. It will limit his movement lateral here. It'll limit his movement laterally so that he can't like re-pull it, but it doesn't affect whether he has power generation or whether if he feels good. So like the things that do limit you when you have that injury, it doesn't fix. It just keeps you from injuring it worse. That's the big deal. So I don't know. If he plays, they might put it on him. You'll sometimes see it. It'll hang down out of the pads and there'll be another cuff around the bicep with some straps coming out of it. If he does, it'll be for prevention. I don't think it'll help him the whole time.
I'm with you.
Franklin, could we use BJ Thompson as a spy if Gay doesn't play? It's an interesting idea. Would you leave it on him? I don't know that I would.
No, absolutely not. I like BJ, but his speed and athletic ability is far better off the edge in a limited space than it is in free roaming space.
I'm totally with you there. FLDB, thanks, buddy. Number one priority, in my opinion, is to get a lead on the Ravens. I like that concept. Yeah. And if you can get ahead 10+, we will be fantastic position. Yeah, if you could take away the grinding run and make them push the ball in the air, I think that plays into what the Chiefs want to do. I think it's how they defend them the best. I'm totally with you.
I'm with you.
Thanks, brother.
Love it, FLDB.
What do you think of Knight's question here? Do you find it kind of weird that the Bills, after the running up and down the field, they just kind of stopped?
I mean, no, not really. I think that the problem is that they did run the ball on first down. They got 1 yard. They got 1 yard, and then it was second down. So no, it doesn't. And again, this is what happens when you're playing against the Chiefs. We've seen it for years and years. They're down 3 points. They got 1 yard on first down running the football, and they desperately want to win. They do not want to settle for a field goal. And again, I'll say it again. Josh Allen made the right throw. He made the right decision. But Chris Jones took Deion Dawkins and pushed Josh Allen. You could see him get pushed as he's letting the ball go.
It turns him.
It turned him a little bit. Otherwise, that's a touchdown. And then on third down, everyone, even Tony Romo, was like, I would come at him with a blitz. And Spags is like, no. No.
How about
he didn't do it. And he decided, I'm going to play coverage. And when Josh Allen rolled out to his right, somebody was right on him, and nobody was open.
Yep.
Nobody was open.
That's what it comes down to. At the end, when time's on your side there, that's what it comes down to. Great question, Knight. Nice to see you, buddy. Axelati, nice to see you. I guess Bills Mafia caught a RICO charge. Rock and roll. I say go get him. Go get him. Nas, if they win, which matchup do you like best? Oh, I'll let you go first.
I'll be honest. I want that rematch. I want the rematch.
I do too. I was just going to say the same damn thing.
That'd be the perfect way to go. You beat the Ravens, and then you get another rematch with Travis Kelce, with Chris Jones, and you say, all right, give me your best shot. Because that defense they have in Detroit ain't doing anything.
No. They might not have done anything since they played the Chiefs, for Christ's sake. Okay. Thanks, Nas. Appreciate you. And old friend Cole's in the house. Nice to see you,
what's
pal.
going on, Cole?
He says, damn, let's shotgun a beer for content. Hey, I'll buy that beer. I guarantee you. I can't make it out there again because I'm on the road for the next 2 months, but you guys get her done, and I'm buying it.
Sure. I'm in. Let's do it.
When and where? If you guys can just get Kelce to show
I'm not
up,
opposed to anything.
it'll be a beer fest. It'll be great. Nice to see you, Cole. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Tom, thank you. Having fun with you earlier, guys. But we have a cold-blooded killer mentality at quarterback. Protect him, and we will win this Sunday. Great job. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate you. And I appreciate the optimism. Yes, we all know it's a Patrick-centered world, right? But it really comes down to that. Protect him. Run the ball. Take the pressure off him. Let him just carve people up. Bada boom. You see what they did against the Bills.
Yeah. It's going to be close. I don't think anyone wins this game going away. I think it's going to come down very much like this last game did, and that seems to be how the Chiefs want to play AFC Championship games. That's fine. Outside of the one against the Bills a few years back now, it's been like that consistently, and I think this Ravens team is legit. I really do.
Yeah. Greg, do you guys know if any coaches watch this podcast for any tips on how to beat the Chiefs? I no longer have any friends that work in Baltimore, but if you're watching Coach Harbaugh or any of you guys, go away.
Yeah, it's only an hour and 5 minutes in. We're just now telling you to go away. So just
right.
forget everything you heard. Those aren't the
Right?
droids you're looking for, kind of nonsense, you know?
And there's your Star Wars reference for tonight, folks. Thanks, Axolotl. We are 3-1 against the Ravens. Yes. Every year's different, though. Every year's different. And every playoff scenario is different. So let's give them the credit they deserve. It's going to be a battle. We're going to break it down for you coming up all week. Dan's got the film on Thursday. All the guys have their content Wednesday. Good God. Sorry. Guys got all their content. We will be back live on Friday for our game plan video like we always are. Make sure that you are here with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then I am going to be on the road. I'll be coming to you post-game from Mobile. Dan will be somewhere in, what is it, Memphis?
I'll be in Memphis.
Okay. So we are on our way to the Senior Bowl. Next week's content and the upscaling to the Pro Bowl and the Super Bowl, we're going to be in Mobile, Alabama. Work and draft. We will have all kinds of stuff there, and we got some cool things coming for you. I'm also going to have a couple of guests here on the show that I'm just going to do some one-offs. You guys will get some extra content that way as well. So thank you all for being here. Thanks for sharing your Monday night with us. Shout out to everybody with the Super Chats and the new members and everybody else coming in. I hope that you guys have a great day tomorrow. And we'll see you tomorrow evening, afternoon, whenever Seth gets done with his piece for tomorrow. And we'll catch up with you later in the week. Have a great one. And we'll talk to you then.